Difficult women.
Difficult Women, episode 2.
Are we starting? Oh. What's happening?
Hello and welcome to Difficult Women. I'm your host again, Marie.
I'm also your host, Katy.
We did it. We're here
I
again.
thought you said we weren't recording.
We are recording.
That's good. I'm excited.
Oh, you didn't think? You think I was just having a convo?
I didn't know what was happening. I don't know what's going on most of the time. It's fine.
Yeah, we're recording. I mean, the red light's on.
Good.
I did it.
Hooray.
Yay.
Yeah, you're killing it. You're killing it with that red light. It's going good. How
Thanks.
are you?
I'm doing great.
It's true.
Happy I'm a woman? Or am I?
I mean.
No, I am.
That's
I am. I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm happy you're a woman. I'm also happy I'm a woman. Yeah, things have been cray. But,
Super crazy. My mother, though, went to her, first time I remember since I've known her, which has been a long time since I was born, that she went to a protest.
Good for her.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Remember when we went to a protest in Charleston?
We did, and somebody brought their cat. Remember in that
No,
backpack?
Oh,
Remember?
Like in a bubble?
Yes.
That was
Somebody
exciting.
brought, so we couldn't go to the DC Women's March because we had a show in Charleston. So a woman brought, so we were in Charleston for the Women's March, which was so powerful and wonderful. And a woman brought her pussycat in a backpack. There was a bubble in, like a clear bubble with the head of the cat would pop out and you could see her puss.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It wasn't very big, but it was big.
Yes.
But compared to the DC one, I remember having a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to be over there with all those.
Yeah, but we had a job to do because we have a very important job.
Yes. Sleeping. Was that what we did?
No, to spread the female empowerment music
right.
to the masses.
After we sleep. Yes.
Yes.
That's good. No,
and that's a good segue into our theme maybe today.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I would say our theme is a little bit off of the... Well, it's not about female empowerment, but it's also something that I think some men out there might relate to too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is sort of non-traditional lifestyles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was the direction I was going in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was saying our job, that's our job we have
an
very
untraditional. I see.
You
I'm
see
with
the
you.
dots? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now
kind
I'm there.
of.
I'm there now. I got there. Took me a minute. I'm kind of slow to start today.
That's good. Well, I'm sorry. I kind of ninja'd you into starting the podcast.
I wasn't ready. I thought, this is all fake, right? We're going to start again for real.
Start again.
Perfect. Yeah. So how about that? I mean, we have
Do you want to start again?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We can make this work.
Okay. Great.
We don't even have to cut that out. We can
I just want you to feel as comfortable as possible.
Totally. So wait, but we do have very non-traditional lifestyles, don't we? We live in New York City. Not everybody does that. That's one.
Right.
We both have roommates, even though we're kind of maybe past the age of roommates.
Yep.
That's New York City for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't have a traditional job.
Right.
Neither of us are married.
Nope. No kids we
getting
know of.
Are we getting depressed? Yeah. But it's cool. It's actually pretty exciting. I think it's an exciting way to live your life.
I can't imagine my life any other way. I mean,
nope.
I say that. I was just thinking about,
Right.
No, actually, no, I can't. I can't. I've tried through the years to have. Actually, that's a lie. I only tried for 4 months and I couldn't survive, like having a 9 to 5. And it wasn't even a 9 to 5. I was able to finagle it being a 11 to 4.
Where was this?
At that headhunting firm that my friend Ellen was the manager. And she was like, I can, they need an office manager. Maybe you can come in and be the receptionist and help schedule meetings.
That
and
sounds terrible.
It was so bad. And then finally I got let go because a boy had broken up with me and I was very upset. And I just spent all day crying in the conference room talking to my friends on the phone about it.
God, yeah, you were not built for that job.
Nope. Nope.
That's crazy.
The CEO also would just call me randomly and have me go in his office and make him laugh. He literally would go, "Make me laugh, Marie." And I was like, oh, God, is this monkey dance time?
That's weird.
It was very weird.
Yeah. I have not ever, I'm trying to think if I've ever really had a 9 to 5. In the summer when I was like a kid, I'd like work in like weird offices because my parents were like, it's good for your resume. I'm like, what?
Filing.
Filing is so good for my resume. Yeah. They clearly were hoping that I would have been something different than what I am now.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How our career paths have
Disappointed our parents.
Well, I think the biggest thing about it is that there's no security.
There's not. Yeah. I'm a believer, though, that there's all the security y'all are feeling out there. It's not real.
It's not real.
I don't believe it. People nowadays, especially, you can lose your job.
You can lose. Yeah,
you could lose a leg.
There could be a flood.
There could be a flood.
There are floods. There's lots. Of floods.
There's lots of
flooding
things that
right
are
now.
not security. So,
yeah.
I think that's why I always make the argument that better to just do what you like doing. Because there's not it's a false sense of security anyway.
Right. Could get hit by a bus
could get a
tomorrow.
divorce.
You could get a divorce.
It's not like marriage is always the answer either.
But I think it's society saying this is society and the American dream. Like that's I've definitely felt the pressure of like, well, you're getting to a certain age and you need to be, married and maybe buy a house and get some kids and do that. But
my dad literally one Thanksgiving just turned to me and goes, "You're going to die alone." And I was like, "Well, Father, we all die alone."
Oh my gosh.
And he's scared. I get it. He's scared.
Yeah.
He's like, what is going to become of her? And I'm like, I don't know, but it's going to be okay, right?
It's good. You got me, girl.
Yeah, good.
50% of my stuff is your stuff.
Perfect.
Look at this
palace that you're living in. Oh my God, I'm so lucky.
It's a good thing it ain't raining because it would have been a waterfall in the kitchen.
That's just a perk.
It's fine.
Right?
Non-traditional lifestyle. That's what I'm talking about right now.
Well, I
living
feel
the dream.
Yeah, but I do think that a lot of people, they, especially when we travel around the country, because New York City, I think we're surrounded by people that have lots of different non-traditional lifestyles. So it's not, I don't know, when we're in our little bubble, it doesn't feel that crazy. But when we leave and people are constantly like, what do you mean you're not married? What do you mean you don't have kids?
Right.
What do you do? What are you going to do with yourself?
Well, remember when we went home I'm from Nashville and we were there and we were walking on the street and one of the neighbors popped out and came out and said hello and then said, well, are you married? You got yourself a boyfriend? Oh, yeah. And I said, I got 2 boyfriends. And his face, he couldn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't understand. Cannot compute.
Yeah.
I was like, have a good night.
Yeah. Now, but just to clarify, you're not polyamorous.
No.
Because that also could have been
But at the time, I think I was dating.
Yeah, you're dating.
You can date multiple people as long as you're just dating. Once you say like, will you go with me? Do people say that?
Yeah, maybe.
Will you wear my pin?
Yeah.
I wish they don't do that anymore. I'm
kind of glad they don't.
Me too.
I don't want to wear some dumb pin.
I know in high school I wore a man's, a little boy's wrestling ring. Like that was like when I was his girlfriend, they'd give you their high school rings. And this thing was gigantic. And obviously I couldn't wear it on my baby fingers. And so I wore it as a necklace and I had a huge bruise on my sternum because it was just
abuse.
Yeah.
It's like
but then when we broke up, I had to give him back his wrestling ring.
So we could give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't want a ring. Just passing it down.
Passing it around.
Secondhand ring. Get out of here with your secondhand ring. I don't want that. I don't want that garbage.
Well, do you want to get married?
I do.
Yeah.
I do want to get married. I mean, also the truth is it's not so much that I want to get married. I think I label it as marriage, right? I'm like, oh, I want to get married.
Partner.
It's not married. I want to have a life partner. I want to have somebody that I can like go through life with and we're like on the same team. And I think that's really appealing to me. And I also believe that I'm a product of divorce. Can you tell? It's showing. It's my product of divorce showing. But I don't think that sometimes relationships run their course and you can consciously uncouple or whatever the shit they call it and it's fine and you can do that and it's like totally fine. But I also think sometimes people make it work for a really long time and that's really appealing to me. So yeah, I would. And then if we want to have I definitely like parties too. We could have a party.
Yeah, celebration about your partnership.
Sure. And if for some reason we feel like we'll sign some papers about it too, okay, that's fine as long as we're in agreement. But so that's what my definition of marriage is: a party and some papers. Is that right? That's the kind of what I get from it.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Yeah.
I've never heard it put like that.
Yeah, I just thought of
Growing up in the South, it's like they would, if you said,
party.
wedding, yeah, marriage is just a party. My mother would, and her friends, I don't know if they would agree with that, but
that would probably make my mom sad, but it sounds fun to me.
I think it sounds great. And you know what? It's fucking 2019. Also, I think it's outrageous that people are spending $50,000, $100,000 on a wedding or something.
I don't need to do that.
I don't understand.
We'll take over somebody get a wrench. We'll do it in the summer because that's a good time. Somebody get a wrench and open up one of those fountain. What is it called? Fire extinguisher. What is it called?
Fire hydrant.
Fire hydrant. Someone open the fire hydrant. We'll get a slip and slide party, and then we'll sign the papers, and then done. Have some barbecue. Oh my God, that's my
That's the new traditional wedding.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
That'll catch on.
Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, why not? That would be one of the most fun weddings I'd ever go to.
You could have a wet t-shirt contest.
Sure, why not?
Wet bride dress, wedding dress,
you could
bride dress.
Have some watermelon. I love watermelon.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah,
summer.
that sounds great.
I
just want all the money when you do get married. I want all that money that they give you, and I want to take that and go on a fancy honeymoon.
That sounds nice.
Or
invest in your future.
Or invest in my future. But what does that mean?
I don't know.
Buy a house and be part of the wheel?
No, just get a good wrench for your for your hydrant parties. I don't know. That's as far a future I can think. No, no, you're right. You're right. You have to go on a good honeymoon.
Got to go on a good honeymoon.
I agree. That's where the money should go.
I love when people have the donate to your their honeymoon
honey
account.
Pot
Honey pot.
Oh, is that kind of dirty to me? I don't know.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'll give some money to your
Stick
honey
some money
pot.
in my honey pot.
I actually don't give wedding gifts. This is the worst. I'm the worst. If I'm at your wedding, that's your gift.
Yeah.
Because we pay so much money to go to people. I mean, we pay so much to go to weddings.
Sometimes I forget to buy a gift, and then I feel bad, and then I'm shoving like cash into an envelope and praying it doesn't get lost.
That's so nice.
I mean,
that's nice. I buy lingerie for the thing, the
that's
bachelorette
nice.
thing. I'll do that, and then other thing. But I'm
Oh,
not going to
nice.
buy you a pot.
Maybe for my birthday next year I'll have a lingerie party because I need new underwear.
That would be so fun.
Everybody just buy me a pair of $2 panties.
Yeah. I
into
need
it.
more dishes. Maybe I'll
Have a dish party.
Dish
you know
party.
what? Oh my God.
Tupperware
this
party.
is what we should be doing now for our birthdays. And then
Well, it's that Sex and the City episode where Carrie. This is not a Sex and the City podcast, guys. There's too many of those already. But occasionally we will be quoting Carrie Bradshaw. But yeah, that episode where she went and her shoes got stolen, and then she was like, she wrote her back and said, "Listen, I've paid this much money towards all these things." And it's so true.
Yeah.
And us non-traditional lifestyle girls, we're just, the bank is broken.
Yeah, we are hemorrhaging money.
For your weddings.
Which I'm not complaining totally because I have a great time. I do really enjoy a good wedding. That is the truth. But I also agree that it's a little spendy. And speaking of non-traditional lifestyles, we don't make a lot of money. That has not been our focus of our lives.
No, it isn't. I feel like last year I woke up all of a sudden and was like, oh, I should think about like retirement and like any type of savings or having something.
Then
possibly.
I put a penny in my bank, in my piggy bank, and I was like, done. Did it.
Well, do you have a portfolio? An investment portfolio? Do you have
I have a wallet that has a lot of receipts in it. Does that count? Is that like a portfolio? It's kind of like it.
But isn't that funny? I mean, yeah, so I don't have retirement. I don't have,
Here's the thing. The apocalypse is coming. I want to
Right.
I'm going to wait till that money in the future, but then I'll be a zombie. If I'm a zombie, I don't need money. I can swim across if you're a zombie, can you swim across the ocean?
Because
it's not like you have to breathe or anything.
Well, if it's Game of Thrones, no. Like they ice people couldn't do that. But I don't want to talk Game of Thrones.
That ruins my retirement plans.
Darn it.
I mean, I don't know. I definitely live my life a lot more. I'm sure I know you do too. A lot more like in the moment.
YOLO.
For better or worse. Yep.
Hashtag YOLO.
Yep.
Yeah. Which terrifies a lot of people. And whenever, you go home and talk to, I call them muggles, which isn't nice.
Just the civilians.
Civilians, yeah. Non-artists. They, having those conversations of understanding their lifestyles versus what I do. I'm like a unicorn. We're like a unicorn.
Yeah.
One of my friends was like, she came to visit actually recently, and she wanted to meet at 9:00, and I was like, okay, great. And I met her at 9:00, and she actually said, like, I'm shocked that you're here at 9. And I'm like, what do you think? How late do you think
I only sleep till 1 on Thursdays.
On Thursdays, yeah. I had another friend that said the same thing. I'm like, well, do I give off that I sleep till 2 every day type of vibe?
I think that's just their fantasy.
Yeah,
we do.
It's probably true. Nope, I'm up at 8:30, people. 8:30.
That's the anxiety, though.
I know.
From not having any retirement.
That is true. I do pop up out of bed a lot with anxiety. But that's what keeps me going.
But that also would not go away, I don't think, just because you switched your job.
No,
It's
I think it'd actually get worse if I had like a...
Right.
I'm just not that kind of person. If my day was regimented and I had to go to the same place and sit at the same cubicle and do the same job every single day, I think I'd wither away, or my soul would.
Nothing to me sounds less appealing than that, to be honest. I mean, so should we reveal the man behind the cloak a little bit?
Yes.
So when we're here, when we're not traveling and making the big bucks,
guys,
musical comedy, we sometimes have to cater and stuff.
Yeah, we're not making it all on the musical comedy.
No, good time to mention if you'd like to join our Patreon. We could definitely use some help to make some videos and all that stuff. It doesn't come for free. So, but we both cater and stuff on the side. I'm not going to say where I work. I think I'm not allowed to. But we and I prefer that running around serving rich people than I would like sitting at a desk behind,
because it's different every time.
It is
for sure.
Every time. Yeah, and you're on your feet, you're moving around. Cleaning glassware. Who doesn't love that?
Who doesn't love to clean a glass?
To polish.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, do
people are fun?
want to be doing that? Would I rather be doing, comedy full time?
Of course.
Of course.
That's not really.
However,
that's actually a good point. I'm not like, you know what I really want to do? Cater.
Cater.
I love catering.
I love catering.
Yeah.
But no, it's a perfect side hustle for what we do.
Right. It's very flexible.
You don't have to deal with money.
Yeah. And it does feel,
You just pass the hors d'oeuvres.
Right. But it really is about the flexibility of your day. And I agree that what I really like the most and prize the most is sort of my freedom and not being tied to like a full-time 9-to-5 job.
Right.
Again, what I'm missing there is the stability of like knowing how much you're going to make every week and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I get it. I get why people don't want to do that.
I do have this fantasy of like one day just working a party and then like getting that email of like you made it. You're famous.
Steven Spielberg writes.
Yeah. And then getting the email and then unbuttoning my shirt and like I'd have an undershirt on, of course.
Okay, I was like, what is this? Where is this going?
Take off the shirt, throw it in the trash, and just walk out without like Irish goodbye that shit.
Did I tell you this story recently? But I used to work at a restaurant as a hostess at this restaurant, and there was this thing that happened in the city where so this guy played the lottery and he won like millions of dollars, like $20 million or something. And then he was like, fuck this place. I'm out of here. Like flipped off all the bosses. No. He's like, I fucking hate your fat face. I hate you. I'm out of here. And he walked out. And then it turned out that the New York Post or somebody had made a mistake and printed the wrong lottery numbers.
No.
Yes.
No.
And so a ton of people had thought they had won and they had not. And then he had to come back the next day and be like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
And the bosses were like, we don't blame you at all. You can have your job back. We're so sorry. And that was really nice of them. But they got it. I mean, it was rough. Yeah. That's like maybe the worst thing that could happen to someone is to think they won the lottery and then they didn't.
Right.
I can't imagine anything worse.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, this is not the same example, but years ago when I booked that PBS kids show, I felt like I had won the lottery, and I told everyone I was going to be on the show, and I went out to the studio, had my fitting. It was going to be so great. And then I got an email a couple days later while I was I was working. Well, no, I was working for that search firm or the headhunting firm. In the cubicle, and I got an email. I was like, but it's fucking PBS, and so they had some money cut, and so they were cutting some of the characters, and Freddie the Frog got zapped. So I just cried in my cubicle.
That's really sad.
I was like winning the lottery, and
really
then
sad.
But then so that did teach me that there's no stability in anything, and until you see your fucking face on that TV,
don't sell it.
Don't tell anybody that you booked something.
Don't bank in the bank, not in your head.
Yes,
that was I don't remember where some self-help book I read. I can't remember. Don't know what it means really, because I don't have any money to bank. But yes, correct. I don't know. Write us in if you have any questions about how we spend our days.
Yeah.
I generally wake up between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. No. Sometimes I wake up at 5 if I have to cater.
difficultwomenpodcast@gmail.com. You can write us anytime.
Please, anything you want. Even if it's hate mail, we love it.
Yeah, we'll probably be reading it while we're catering or something.
Well, do you know any of any other strange ways of living your life?
Well, actually, I thought it would be so fun to tell you a story.
Okay. I love stories. I love it.
And the way I wanted to go about this, I actually was like, oh, well, I know that we agreed not to have guests yet. Eventually,
Is someone going to come in this room right now?
Wheel the cake out. No, bump out of that. No, but I wanted to have a guest for this story, but she couldn't be here because we're not doing guests quite yet. Oh. But I called her on the telephone this morning and talked to her for an hour about her non-traditional lifestyle. My good friend Elizabeth Blue.
Oh my gosh, this is exciting.
Yeah. So we wanted to just share with you listeners about stories of other people that we know that are successful in their non-traditional types of lives. And I have a good friend from high school. Her name is Elizabeth Blue. Remember that because she's going to be so famous. Mm-hmm. But she's a friend of mine who I've really admired since high school. She's one of the funniest people I know. We did theater together then, and she went off to theater school, and then we all moved to New York, kind of not together, but she was definitely part of, my, I don't know what you call those lifelong friends that like get you through the hard times, especially when you first moved to New York. And, we all struggled together. And she's a comedian, and she'd been in New York, I think, almost 10 years. And she was just really having a tough time at being an actor and a comic. And she said that she was kind of coming up against that idea of what is success and how to succeed in this business. All the rejection that you get in showbiz can really kind of kill your soul. And so it was really starting to take, making her heart hurt. So she started taking steps of like realizing what is it that she needed to do in her life to free herself of this feeling. And she started going to some life coaches or like, I don't know if they were like online coaches or people here in New York or something, but people that could kind of help you zero in on what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are and how to help your strengths and to kind of get over your insecurities. And through that, someone helped her realize that she's really good at writing and really good at editing and how she could start to make money doing that. And so she started copywriting, I think, and actually making a living doing that because she emailed other life coaches that she noticed on the internet whose summaries on their websites might have need a little bit of punch up.
Genius.
And so she started working with the client immediately who was paying her to freelance for them. And so then it kind of opened up because the thing about this non-traditional lifestyle is that, you still have to make money, right?
You have to live.
You have to
in
live.
The world, yeah.
Yeah, you have to live in the world. And So she wanted to focus on art, but then how do you do that? How do you survive? And how do you kind of break the mold of what you've thought was supposed to be the answer, and how just she had to kind of recreate what her dreams were going to be or whatever. So before she'd left New York, she had written a one-woman show, and she had performed it around town, and she had performed it at some fringe festivals. And doing that show, she thought that was like she couldn't go any further with that show anymore. And so that was also kind of the thing that made her like start to rethink her dreams and her path and stuff. And so she just needed a break from all performing. So she started making money copywriting, and then she got an offer to leave New York and house sit in the middle of nowhere in California for 4 months. So another life coach was traveling the world, and he needed a house sitter. So she went out to California not knowing anybody. She said it was in the middle of the state in the mountains. There were two neighbors. One was an elderly woman and one was an alpaca farmer.
Perfect.
And she just wrote and worked and kind of, was secreting what life she wanted
I love the idea of just like moving somewhere for 4 months. Too.
Yeah.
I've kind of been toying with this concept.
Ditto.
Yeah, I know.
Like just trying to, I don't know,
just shake it up a little.
Press reset or
have a new life experience for a little bit.
So then she made the decision, which is kind of so me and she had read Eat, Pray, Love.
Perfect. I love it. Inspiring women across the nation.
Inspiring women. But no, I mean, if you read that book, like,
it's a pretty good book.
It's a pretty good book. Movie, I don't know.
Like, but the movie. Don't watch the movie.
But the book's great, and it really does celebrate, solo traveling and taking leaps in faith and all that sort of stuff. And so she took a leap of faith. So she had a little break in her work so she could travel, and so she decided right then and there that she'd go to Bali.
Neat.
And she knew she had a month and a half that she could go to Bali. So she went to Bali for a month and a half. And she was then able to work still as a copywriter. Like her clients agreed to work with her schedule because it's 12 hours.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yes, exactly. Kind of so she lived in Bali for a month and a half, and then it turned into 3 months. It turned into 6 months. And she said there, like, she wasn't performing yet, but she was just kind of like feeding her soul again. And because New York had really beaten her down and, introduced all these types of insecurities. And so she went to Bali and really freed her soul. And then she said, this was so cool, that while she was in Bali, she was surrounded by all these artists, and they were painters, there were poets and musicians, but there was no theater. But there was a theater space that everyone was performing in, but nobody was doing it. And so she thought, well, might as well put up my show that I had done several years ago. This is what it's called, Am I Blue? And it's her one-woman show. And so she said that she put it up and it sold out. There was 160 people in this room. Cool. And she said that it was like finding herself all over again. And she had to go through that journey of, losing it and then finding it again. And when she was telling me this morning, she was like, it's that show you opened for me, right? Marie. I was like, that is the show that started my career as a musical comedian, because she was the one that was like, hey, I know you sing these funny songs, which I was not planning on.
Before the band.
This is before the band. And I did 30 minutes of my little silly songs that I'd never performed in front of anybody. And then she did her solo show. And so she went to Bali, and it took her to kind of find herself again. And so she started writing a new show. But besides that, so when she was in Bali, she met a Scottish comedian who then told her all about the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Oh. And then they fell in love.
No. But now she's going to Edinburgh to do her solo show.
Love
and it had always been a dream of hers to go to Edinburgh, even in New York. Like, she'd always dreamed of it and never thought that would actually happen. And the way she put it, she had to go to Bali for that to because I was talking to her about like, well, I don't know if I should. You have to live in New York City to make life work and be a performer. And she was like, well, I was in Bali in the middle of nowhere, and I met a comic who like gave me all the support and information to bring my show to Edinburgh. So it's kind of, you have to create your own path, and you have to believe, and you have to take those leaps.
And more now than ever with the way the internet works. Like, you know, back in the day, maybe she couldn't have really made that work because she wouldn't have been able to have that job. She would have maybe found a different kind of job, but she couldn't have done her like copywriting job online. But now you can. So
now
like,
you can.
why not? That's like so inspiring.
Isn't that cool?
It's really cool. If you are listening and you've now decided to move to Bali, send us an email.
Send us an email.
Difficult Women Podcast.
Yeah, I am actually very interested in knowing more about digital nomads. That's what she called them. She said that there's so many people over there that are digital nomads, and they work, you know, do something online, maybe in the US or whatever, but then they're living their best life.
They can be wherever they need to be.
Yeah. But I have to do a sidebar. It is a privileged life.
Yes.
She doesn't, because if she had like 5 children to feed, you can't really go off to Bali and to
Those are choices then you have to make to some degree.
Exactly.
And certainly we make choices. I mean,
absolutely.
We're not raising children, and we're not tied down to anybody at all at the moment.
Right.
Maybe one day we will be, and that could be cool. Maybe we can make things work with our partners and our children, but that's sort of yet to be determined in terms of
But I have such respect for her to take that leap from, because we're
not encouraging to leave your family.
No, please don't go. Please don't leave your family.
But maybe go on vacation.
Yeah, maybe go on vacay.
Yeah,
or just read Eat, Pray, Love,
or start a new hobby.
Right.
I mean, even things like that can be a really big change. And also, she didn't just move to Bali; she took these steps to get herself.
Yeah, and that was the big thing, because I was like, "How did you go from New York to Bali?" And she was like, "Oh my goodness, that's not how it went at all."
That should be the name of her next show: New York to Bali.
Well, the name of her next show is How Christianity Made Me a Slut.
Oh, I love it!
Isn't that cool?
We're gonna go watch it. We should go to Edinburgh and see it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Isn't that cool?
If I had a sound effects of applause, I would play it here.
Yay, Elizabeth Blue.
Yay.
But everybody look up Elizabeth Blue. She really is such an inspiration.
Go see her shows.
Go see her show. Look her up on Instagram. It's at @eBlueBlue.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love
Elizabeth Blue. Well, she's great. She's very inspiring.
Yeah. And a really lovely, fun lady.
Yeah.
I would love to see her again sometime soon, I hope.
She's great.
Anyway, that's exciting.
Isn't
That's
that
a
cool?
good one. I don't know if I can live up to that one, but I don't have like such an exciting story about someone we know.
Well, that's totally fine. That's one thing that I was struggling with, is because there are so many cool stories online about these non-traditional lifestyles. But I just kept thinking of Elizabeth.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah.
I did find one online because that was how creative I was. And I found a story about someone that in all honesty, I would love to do what this person has done. Mm-hmm. Very much so. So this guy, he lived by himself in the woods for 27 years.
Yes.
And just lived in the wilderness. And his story, what's his name? Christopher Knight. At 20 years old, Christopher Knight quit his job. He was working just some sort of whatever job. He graduated high school and really didn't know what he wanted to do. He never really liked people. He never really liked being around people. He didn't get people. He didn't really care. And he had some whatever job. And one day he just kind of had enough. He didn't tell anybody. He cashed out his last paycheck. He quit his job. He didn't tell anyone he was quitting. He just left and didn't come back. I do worry a little bit about his family. I think that they were he's disappeared.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of shitty. But aside from that part, he got in his car. He had this decent car. He took all the money he had. He drove to Florida. And then he was like, I don't want to be in Florida.
Nobody wants to be in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm from Florida. I mean,
I get it.
Yeah.
And he was like, nope, I made a mistake. Turned around, drove back. And I think it wasn't so much a mistake as it was just I don't know what I'm doing. I just don't want to do anything. I just don't want to live, normal life. And drove back up to Maine, kept driving, and he kept going deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods until he couldn't drive his car any further. Then he got out of the car. He ran out of gas, too, at some point, or was close to running out of gas, threw the keys back in the car, took whatever he had, and then walked into the woods. And they were talking about how it wasn't, on the one hand, he wasn't approaching it like a suicide mission. It wasn't like he was depressed and wanted his life to end. It was just that he didn't want to participate in the way we do life out here. And he didn't really feel ever that connected to people, and it just wasn't his thing. So he made it a point to get lost in the woods and wandered around until he kind of just found whatever. I think he would move his campsite a little bit from place to place, a little bit, or maybe eventually kind of found a location. But he really didn't want to be found at all. So he made like a tent out of like whatever, he had a couple things. He really had not planned this at all, which sounds like something I might do. Just be like, I know, I'm going to move to the woods, and then be like, oh God, I don't have anything. So he didn't have anything to kill animals. He had nothing. He didn't, and he was actually supposedly a pretty good hunter, but didn't have a gun or a knife or anything. So he was like, well, I'm getting kind of hungry. Just trying to find something to eat, doing his thing. And then he realized, and he was a very like honest man. He came from an honest family, and he did not want to like take from other people or hurt anybody, or he just didn't want to be involved with anybody. But eventually, after like 10 days of not eating, he found like somebody's campsite or something, and then found some food, snuck into the campsite, stole some food. And he said he felt very guilty about it, but he had to eat, right? So that sort of started this beginning. Cause I was like, what? He's like living off the land the whole time, but like he didn't in the end. He didn't to some degree, but into the landscape that he was around. But he just started kind of doing this thing where he would like cat burglar his way into these cabins, and he'd like do this intense reconnaissance mission where he would like see when people were coming in and out of their cabins. And then when they were gone, he never wanted to like, first of all, he didn't want to get caught. And second of all, he didn't want to disturb anybody or hurt or scare anybody. So he would sneak in sneakily, like through a window or something, careful not to really break anything. But like, he'd get like, he'd be finding like tools and things along his years out there.
Stealing.
Or he'd steal them. Yeah, he'd steal his tools. He wouldn't buy them. He'd steal some tools.
He'd steal some tools.
And then he'd steal food. So he'd like go in and take, if people had gotten grocery shopping or something, he'd take some groceries or whatever. And apparently at some point, the people in the community knew about him, and they weren't that threatened by him, because he would leave everything spotless. He would just take a couple things that he needed. He didn't take more than he needed.
Packets.
I mean, kind of, why not, right? And like, it was still stealing, and that's not cool, but like, he was very respectful in his stealing or whatever. Apparently felt he's like, I never enjoyed stealing. I just had to kind of do it to survive. And people would started leaving him bags of groceries, partly because it's like, stop taking our groceries. Here, we'll give you some groceries here. Just stop breaking into our house. But he wouldn't take them because he was always too afraid that either it was some sort of a trap, which it could have been, or and he just didn't want to be reliant on anybody like that.
Fascinating.
So he really he didn't fall for those like traps, or he didn't go into those kind of things. But he would take a canoe, like he'd take someone's canoe in the middle of the night, canoe down this like river, and pop out, get his supplies, and then he'd return the canoe. He's like, I didn't need to. It wasn't like he was stealing for the sake of stealing. It just
he was just doing what he had to do to survive. Okay.
Yeah. And so eventually he was doing that for 27 years. And then eventually in Maine, still in Maine, he got caught. And then he was arrested.
Oh, no.
And he went to jail. Yeah. And the community was very upset about it. They were like, don't leave him alone. He's just our weirdo who takes our stuff. But he, but he did it for that long. But of course, people have been like so curious about how did you do it? Why did you do it? What's going? He was like, I don't know. I just I didn't need to be around people. Really, I don't really like people, so it wasn't for him. So he, but the other thing that I thought was really fascinating was he talked about how he's like, I was never bored. There's always something to do, either fix up your house or do whatever you're doing. Although he stole a lot of batteries and propane stuff. So he had some kind of setup, I guess, going on there. And they said they found a TV.
Oh, really? He stole a TV.
So I don't know if he was watching TV with a battery operated TV. So he was doing something. But mostly I think they talked about how when you're that isolated.
I think Henry David Thoreau talked about it in Walden.
Oh. Good old Thoreau. You're going to quote some Thoreau?
I haven't read it, but, but I know what it's about.
So this guy was talking about how like you lose your sense of identity. And that can happen to people too, like prisoners that are like isolated. They can start to lose their sense of identity. And it's when you take the world away from you You know what I mean? The things that make you who you are only a reflection of what's around you.
Right.
You know, like
so
your personality only matters in response to somebody else, you know? So unfortunately, if you're like in a prison situation, you're kind of being unwittingly put into that position. So people can really like lose their minds if they feel like they're, so that's why you shouldn't put people alone in a box for a long time. But, don't
Prison Reform is episode 7. Stay tuned.
Right. If you have anybody in your basement right now, please send us an email. But he wanted, this is what he was looking for, you know, this is what he wanted. And he talked about how he just sort of lost his sense of self, and you become very like, it's like a meditation. It's just like a constant meditation of being very present and sort of one with the world around you. And he became very attuned to like the environment.
You would think that material objects start to lose its
value.
Weight. Yeah, it's value.
Absolutely.
So that's why maybe taking these things, it's like, well, I need the food. It makes me
you
live.
need the food to live. You need the tool to like, do the thing you need to do.
Right.
But like, but it is also like very Marie Kondo of him to
Right.
like not
Right.
have, you don't need a lot of stuff. You just don't.
Right.
And like we live in, we're, sorry, now they're going to come get us because we're bashing capitalism, but we live in a world where we're just all about buying more things and having more things. And, now all that being said, I am an only child and I do need my alone time, but I would be real sad if I was alone.
For that much.
For that long.
Wow. That is a very non-traditional
alternate lifestyle.
That is an alternate lifestyle if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. And if he had gotten that, hunting thing down a little bit better, maybe he wouldn't even had to like, I think there's other stories about other people that really lived off the wild and really like stayed kind of out there with that stuff. I don't blame him for picking up some cookies from time to time though. I mean, that's
I love those stories of, Appalachian Trail hikers that like they take off work. They leave their jobs and families or whatever for 3 months and hike the trail, and just I don't know, being one with nature like that. I would love to do that.
It would be amazing. It would be terrifying, but it would be amazing.
Yeah.
I really want an RV.
I know you do.
I really want that. That's in a weird way. I think my dream lifestyle would be to not live anywhere, to just live in a van, in an RV, but with my family. Like we all go together, like the Partridge Family.
Well, are you obsessed with those tiny homes? Or
no,
do you want
I want
it
mine
to be
mobile.
Yeah.
I like tiny homes, and I like those being squished to the bathroom. It's very appealing to me. But like, I think I like the idea that it's mobile.
Yeah.
The small homes make me anxious because then I'm like, it's so little. What if if like a tree falls on it?
I just don't want to be that close to anybody.
Yeah.
In one little home.
Oh yeah, and that's the other. Yeah, I feel like in an RV.
Well,
the point is to be outside of it too.
Well, my aunt and uncle have that. They have a new RV now, and they try. She just was able to retire. Now they're traveling all over with this. It's a thing that hooks on the back of a truck.
Oh right.
Rather than a big
Actual,
RV. Yeah. But it's a camper. It has, a couch, a table, and then like a little bed. And
I was legit.
Drive it everywhere.
Legit looking into what it would take and what the laws are and all that for living in an RV in New York City, because you can. I think that you're legally allowed to. I'd probably be living mostly in a Walmart parking lot, but which is
where would you?
There's place. I think there's even some street parking you're allowed to do. I just don't know where you put your poop. Where's the poop go? They always tell you on the bus, don't poop on the bus.
Don't poop on the bus.
That's another insider.
Yeah, when you're on a tour bus, don't poop on the bus. Not allowed.
Because it's just not that you can't clean it out. It's just that it's disgusting.
Yeah, you got to drain it.
Nope. Yeah.
We drained it.
Well, but we wouldn't
our
poop
RV.
on the bus. Oh, in your
No, in Sturgis.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh God, that was gross.
Yeah. When we performed at Sturgis, we got
to live
really
in an
fucking
RV.
Cool,
in
an RV, and they gave us a golf cart, and that was we peaked. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
so cool. But yeah, no, remember they had to. They came and
helped you do it.
You basically did it because I was like, I don't know, do you do this? And you're like, no, and it started squirting, and then it was the wrong valve. But they came and anyway,
I'd get used to it. I can do it. I'll be the poop patrol.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I like the idea of living off the grid.
I love it.
We couldn't do our podcast.
Well, I'll come back into like a studio at night. I'll take my canoe to the studio, and then I'll return the canoe, and I'll record it. And you'll be like, where are you this week? And I'm like, I can't tell you. You'd have to guess where I am.
Oh, man.
I'd probably lose my mind. if I was that alone, but it's okay. I'm already halfway there, so it would be real bad. But
yeah.
Anyway, so tell us what you think. I want emails so bad. I don't know why I want emails so bad.
No, I know. I want people to write in.
So we're not just speaking into the void. I feel like sometimes I'm like, are you listening?
Is anybody listening?
Are you there? Yeah.
What if there is like a Sasquatch in the woods listening on a radio? That'd be so cool. He's got a little podcast app.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know. That guy had a TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it worked. I also kind of imagined that he just looked at that empty TV and there's nothing on there. I mean, he clearly is like a little bit of a strange guy. I don't think he's like your average dude, but
yeah.
Can you imagine trying to date that guy?
Ooh, his balls would smell so bad.
Well, I was just thinking it'd be hard to get him to commit.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
very true.
You'd be like, come on, let's get married. And you'd be like, no, I want to live alone in the woods. Then you like disappear. You're like, oh, I guess he was right.
Well, you know what time it is?
I think I do. It's
troll time.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to read these mean things.
Oh God. Okay. What have people said this week?
Shall I read some of these
Yes,
things?
please.
Okay. Well, I found this one. This was also on our, if you'd like to go back and just like a fine wine, go back and see how these have aged. This is from the I'm a Slut video, which I think we talked about last week. And this one says, yeah, too bad in America it's considered sexism if you mention women and responsibility in the same sentence.
Oh my God.
Daddy government buys them whatever they want. They demand to be treated like children. But of course, we still have to tell them they're independent and equal. Well, at least this time they managed to keep their shirts on and they didn't use their tits to get their own way.
Oh my God.
I mean, this guy, I think he's got a punchable face. I can't even see his face and I'm sure it's punchable.
Wow.
That one's pretty inflammatory.
Well, get ready for this one.
Wait, I think his picture is a man like cow prodding a woman or something.
Oh, really?
So he hates ladies. That's okay.
Huh.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, what the ladies need to find is a good man to please and to have babies with, to cook and to clean and to submit to. For a woman is happier with a man that rules over the woman, like God rules over man. It's a long one. Get ready. My wife works as I work, and we have a good relationship, very equal, and respect each other. But we got married, and when we did, we agreed I was the head of the house, so I have final word. For a woman should be submissive to her husband. He actually spelled it submissive, but I think he meant submissive.
Probably.
The truth is, women. This is exactly how I said it. The truth is, women was placed on earth to please men. Thanks, Jerry's World.
Oh my God, Jerry's World. Thank you for that really eloquent speech.
So nice. So
nice.
I clicked on Jerry's World just to see what's happening in his world.
What is going on in Jerry's
Guess
world?
what kind of hat he likes to wear.
Oh,
Yep.
Dick hat.
That classic red one that says that shit on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Of course.
But he rants on there he actually does have some videos. Sometimes, we talked about last week.
Maybe we'll watch some videos.
Yeah, I wanted to just start commenting, but they have like 3 views. So I didn't want to give them views.
I know, that's the thing. You don't want to give them views, but I'm also just so curious. I will say, if you in your own private relationship have decided, and both partners are on board, that he's going to make all the decisions and he's that. I mean, that's totally fine.
Right. Yeah,
but to
that's
then
totally
make
fine.
a blanket statement that that's how God wanted it.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, there was another person then that responded, I hate those independent women too. Thanks.
I mean, what did I do to her?
I don't know.
know.
We just wrote funny songs.
Yeah. It's so interesting that like he clearly is mad about something, maybe his tiny penis, but he because if he's ranting about this shit all the time, all over the online, then like something's going on there. I bet you what I really think is happening. He probably doesn't run shit in that household. She probably runs that tight ship, and he doesn't have any other way to like express himself other than to like shit on other people. That's what I've decided. Right. I'm just going to decide that.
Well,
she's probably awesome. She's probably this really awesome like wife to take charge
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know.
Well, I always believe the man is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck.
No,
all
I feel like
decisions.
the household should be a two-headed monster where we can both just figure stuff out together. Because I don't want to support you.
That's true.
I don't want this wobbly ass dude on top of me. And I'm like, God damn, I can't keep this straight. I don't want that.
I don't know.
We can be two-headed monster.
Two-headed monsters. That'll be your wedding invitation.
Two-headed monster.
Two-headed monster.
Playing in a fire hydrant.
That's beautiful.
That is romance. That is true love right there. Two-headed monster. Or, well, that's too much. How about just two individual people that both do the dishes?
Two separate. Yeah,
like
I want you to want
to do the
wash
dishes.
dishes. Yeah.
The other thing, though, is that if you decide you're really good at dishes, I'm really good at vacuuming. That's also a great
amazing.
idea. I like that. That works.
Share
for
the
me.
responsibility.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yes.
Or you could do a chore wheel. That's what I want in my house when I'm married.
Flip it
Chore
and
wheel.
then
Yeah. So then you do, or you just do like, this is your week, this is my week. That's how we do with my roommates.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. Oh, really? I thought
or you could do it that way.
like spin the wheel and be like, you get vacuuming.
You could do it that's fun. Why not make it
I'd make
fun?
it like a fun little thing.
Just don't get.
I'm not going to
vacuuming
be
3 times
ever in a
row.
relationship where a man is like, it's your job to clean the house.
It's your turn to clean the house.
your
I'm like,
turn.
no, you always clean the house. I'm also into that.
I'm sitting here. I'm
You
sleeping
wanna
till
do the
1.
house, yeah.
I have a non-traditional lifestyle.
Yeah.
Bitch, get back in the
love
kitchen.
Well, here's one that's a little more uplifting.
Okay, good. Let's end on a higher note.
Okay, this is a little bit nicer. This doesn't make us so mad. This lady's on our team. She is like trolling the trolls here. She goes, I love you girls. Wow. Some of these comments. This video really rattled the cages of a large number of mouth-breathing cretins hooked on anger porn.
Anger porn.
And then she says, and this is her, not me. She's saying, unfortunately, in the South, we often call them next-door neighbors. Well done. Y'all make me smile. Thanks. Yeah, I like that. See, it's nice to have like a nice one in there too. She was a lot more eloquent than that last guy too. Did you notice?
Yes.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Well, that's the end of troll time. Wow.
Now we're depressed.
Now we're depressed. Well, I got real depressed looking for just things to read for troll time because there's a lot of
I think it's good
angry
for people to see
people.
though again what we're dealing with.
what we're
here.
up against when we're just singing about women, just the regular things that we think about and experience.
Yeah.
There's so much pushback.
Yeah.
That's all right.
God, this got sad.
Well, I'll tell you how to make it exciting.
How?
We just booked our very first Pride show.
Yay!
Yeah, and /boat.
Ride, cruise, show.
Yes. June 15th in Connecticut. We're going to be on the Queen Mary. One of the queens. We're going to be riding a queen
In Connecticut, yes.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you want to come on and see us on that boat, why
Yeah,
not?
celebrating and being very, prideful.
Do our Little Mermaid act right on there.
Yeah.
And you can also see us. You'll be able to see it, or if you're in Charleston right now, you can see us at Theater 99 a couple more days.
Mm-hmm.
Not much, but get your butts out there.
That's right.
Unless you listen to this later,
And then we're just
you're too
gone
bad.
in the woods.
Yeah, you missed it. Yeah, might be performing in the woods.
But yeah, June 15th in Connecticut, and then the rest of the shows in Charleston we have one tonight on Tuesday, May 28th, and Wednesday, May 29th. I think that's
it.
dates.
But you can still catch it if we haven't sold out. So anyway, come see us.
Yeah.
And if you want to send us an email,
difficultwomenpodcast@gmail.com.
perfect.
What song do we want to play them?
Oh, that's a good
after
question.
the
why don't we play?
Oh, sorry. Did you have a victory you wanted to talk about?
Got these cute shoes.
I don't know.
Mine's also.
Those are very cute.
Even after talking about condoing out in the woods, I still am like, I got new shoes. But they're really cute. They're really obnoxious. People, so far, I've worn them just one day. Either people are point to them and go, those are the cutest shoes ever. Or I've had a couple men look at me in disgust.
Oh.
They do say girl power on them.
Do they really?
Yeah, they say girl power. Right
Where? Oh my
there, by accident. I
God.
didn't know. That's just happened to be on there.
Wow.
Yeah,
What
but
kind
I'm
of
feeling
shoes are those?
They're Converse.
They're Converse.
Yeah, so that's fun. What's a win that you had?
I recently watched a really incredible documentary.
Oh, great. On birds?
On living off the grid. No, I highly recommend. It's the documentary on Netflix, Knock Down the House.
Oh, I saw that. It's really great.
Right.
Yeah.
With all the women that ran and
For Congress
spoiler
and
alert,
stuff,
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wins.
yeah.
If you hadn't
You just
seen
ruined
it.
it for all of us.
I did. No, but it was just such an inspiring, I don't know. I'm just so excited about where we're headed because we have women like her who are fighting for us, and I think the younger generation gets it. And
Totally. And if people don't like her, I think part of what's happening, and you know, we're not saying she has to be president yet, although I wouldn't mind that much.
Yeah.
But we need somebody like her in office right now who's like
shake it up,
shedding some light on some of this nonsense.
How it works.
No matter what team you bat for,
right?
Like she's a useful figure in
and she's empowered me because the next time I'm bartending or serving hors d'oeuvres or whatever. When people do give us a little hard of a time of, you know, when we're doing that because sometimes we're not seen as human beings in the service industry. But I want to be like, you know, AOC was bartending when she won Congress.
And I liked how she really said there's no shame in bartending.
There's no
why
shame in
just honest living.
I also learned that Emilia Clarke missed a catering gig to audition for Game of Thrones.
Did she get fired?
I don't think so. I think she quit because she got Game of Thrones.
Can you imagine she had just still been catering?
I know, just on the side. I love it so much.
BRB, Iceland. I just gotta go drop these, crab cakes off.
Right.
Anyway,
there's only one other thing I want to talk about, just real quick before we end. I got a little heated. It's not a victory, but it's a downer. I don't know. Let's end on a down note again. No, but did you see that Amy Schumer posted that she posted a picture of herself doing stand up just I think it was 20 days after she'd given birth, and there was so much mommy shaming.
We should do an episode on mommy shaming. We'll have to have a mom come on since we are not moms. But
yeah, I do not know that experience. But I was so excited to see that she was back at work and doing her thing. And then I started reading all the really terrible troll comments. And
there's lots of different ways to make that work for you.
Right.
Know what I mean, I think
but it goes to the, she's living the non-traditional lifestyle. I'm sorry. There's no maternity leave when you're a fucking comic.
Right.
There's no health insurance. Like you can't, I don't know how that stuff works.
Yeah.
Well, she's very wealthy.
Friends. Well, I have a lot of friends that are about to have babies or are having babies, and they did not get any maternity leave because they don't get that in their job profession. So
So I don't know. Bravo, Amy Schumer. Good for you for getting back out there.
You gotta do.
I wish we could have seen your set because I bet that would have been really funny. So
yeah,
go ladies,
go ladies, go ladies,
go.
All right,
to the woods. Yeah,
Well, let's end this podcast on a song that kind of ties into what we're talking about, which is our parents' disapproval. Yeah,
we do have health insurance though, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good. So
thank you,
we
Obama.
We have some sort of security. Yeah. But we'd like to dedicate this song then to our mamas.
Sorry.
Play it out for you.
Sorry, mama.
Sorry. Enjoy.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and email us, remember? Email us questions, uplifting stories, any vibrators we should try out at difficultwomenpodcast@gmail.com.
Do it.
Also subscribe, rate, and review. Mama always said I'd embarrass the family. Look at me now, I'm embarrassing the family. What do you expect? It just comes to me naturally. Mama, just let me be.
Mama always said, stop acting so weird, or you're never gonna meet a boy I fear. But I ain't worried, 'cause to me it's crystal clear. All you need to catch a guy's a good joke and a cold beer. Mama, let me be. I just want to be free. Free from your eyes, your grunts and your sighs.